Well, if you're wondering whether the SUV thing has gone completely crazy in Australia, just look at the different categories. There's one for every kind of SUV. This is the small SUV category for the Drive 2021 Car of the Year Awards, and it's as competitive as you'd expect it to be because every manufacturer wants a part of it. Mazda CX-30, it's a particular favourite with Australians and it's a very good all-round package. Kia Seltos, it's hard to argue with what that car offers across the board, and it's a really compelling buy. And of course the new entrant to the segment, the Skoda Kamiq. Like we've said about a few of these segments, this one is as much about value and if you're shopping on a budget as it is anything else, but we're going to be looking at packaging because if you can only afford one vehicle and it's a compact SUV of this size, it has to be space efficient inside. The judges will be looking at that. It's going to be a tough one, this one. The Kia Seltos starts from $26,990 before on-road costs and has 5 variants across front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive platforms. The front-wheel drive models are powered by a naturally aspirated 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, which makes 110 kilowatts, while all-wheel drive models get a 1.6-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 130 kilowatts. The 2-litre engine has a CVT, while the turbo gets a 7-speed dual clutch. Across the range, Seltos is fitted with an impressive portfolio of standard equipment, including camera-based AEB with pedestrian detection, an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, lane keep assist, driver attention alert, a rear view camera, rear parking sensors and 6 airbags. The Mazda CX-30 starts from $28,990 and buyers have a choice of 2 engines, a 114 kilowatt 2-litre and a 139 kilowatt 2.5 litre. The 2-litre is available with front-wheel drive only, while the 2.5 is available with both front and all-wheel drive. Right across the range, the CX-30 is well equipped, with all models getting alloy wheels, an 8.8-inch infotainment display, a 7-inch digital instrument display, parking sensors and satellite navigation, rear cross traffic alert, AEB, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane departure warning and traffic sign recognition are also all standard. The Skoda Kamiq starts from $27,990 and enters a competitive segment with sharp pricing and plenty of standard features. 3 powertrain options head the lineup and there's a manual or 7-speed DCT as well. The 85 TSI, as the name suggests, is an 85 kilowatt engine, while the higher spec engine makes 110 kilowatts. Standard equipment includes a digital instrument cluster, 8-inch infotainment system, wireless smartphone charging and smartphone mirroring. Safety is also well catered for across the range with autonomous AEB, lane assist, fatigue detection, rear parking sensors, 7 airbags and electronic brake force distribution all standard. You'll hear us say that this is a tough segment and that's never more evident than the vehicles that didn't make it into our top 3 finalists. Last year's winner, the Hyundai Kona, didn't make it, and neither did the all-new Toyota Yaris Cross. Both excellent small SUVs, but they couldn't quite crack it for Drive Car of the Year 2021.
The Seltos cabin comes with a strong infotainment package, particularly if you go for mid-spec upwards. You get this nice and wide infotainment display then, 10 inches, and if you get this GT line version, the flagship model, well then you get wireless charging. It would be nice if that was on all models, and also a Bose audio system. Negatives, well, perceived quality not quite at the same level as that of the Mazda CX-30, and the interior ambience is all a little bit dark and sombre, whereas the sort of bright and bubbly colours that you get with the exterior paints, like this goldy yellow of this GT line. And another bonus with the Seltos is that you get some of the biggest cabin space in the class. The CX-30 is essentially a high-riding Mazda 3 hatchback, but that's no bad thing because it means that this car has got some segment-leading quality. Some really lovely, soft, yielding materials here on the dash and the doors. There's even a two-tone effect here, if that's your kind of thing. Tactility with the switchgear, very nice indeed. Infotainment touchscreen, well actually it is no longer a touchscreen as it was before with Mazdas. It's now purely controlled by this rotary controller on the center console. But you know what? I actually think that's a good thing, as do my fellow judges, because it makes it a lot easier for manipulating the interface when you're on the move and spending less time looking away from the road. Negatives, well, the judges were pretty unanimous about the rear seat space in the CX-30, not as good as it could be. Skoda's new smallest SUV, the Kamiq, makes a great showroom impression. The judges were particularly impressed with the quality of the interior. You've got soft touch materials here, some fancy metallic style trim elements there. In fact, in terms of perceived quality, it even outdoes the rival T-Cross from parent company Volkswagen. It's got a perforated steering wheel, that's very fancy too, and you know, this is the base model. The judges, they particularly loved the seats in the Kamiq. Okay, a bit of a fleck pattern here which looks a bit 1980s, but it somehow works in 2021. Multi-fabric material, supremely comfortable, and the good news continues in the back seat because you get relatively huge amount of space back there for this class. The boot, bit on the small side, but it is also quite practical.
Seltos, as with all current Kia product, benefits from a specific local suspension tune which ensures that it rides beautifully across all surfaces. It's nicely balanced on the track, even though we're pushing these vehicles harder than you ever will day to day. It's responsive enough and strikes a neat balance between bump compliance and handling surety. Mazda's CX-30 arrived with plenty of fanfare and carrying the burden of the brand's Zoom Zoom mantra. Like the other main competitors in this segment, the compact size is near perfect for city dwellers, and at all times, the CX-30 feels sharp and responsive. Its suspension tune does err more on the side of firm handling than outright comfort. The Skoda Kamiq offers a different character depending on whether you choose the 85 TSI or the range-topping 110 TSI. Interestingly though, the less powerful engine retains that zippy, go-kart-like feel around town that makes this segment so enjoyable. Acceleration is linear, steering response is excellent, and the Kamiq's general balance and compliance is first rate. At low speeds, the DCT isn't perfect, none of them are really, but as the speed rises on our dynamic loop, it comes into its own. We've spent a fair bit of time slicing and dicing this segment because, as we said from the outset, this was a tough one for the judges because all three finalists offer a compelling proposition. But this is our pick for the small SUV category. It is the all-new Skoda Kamiq. Now, as we've said a couple of times before, that's not to say if you like the Mazda CX-30 or you like the Kia Seltos that either of those are bad vehicles. They're not. They're particularly good. But when we really came down to it and we could only pick one, this is our drive car of the year for the small SUV segment, the Skoda Kamiq. There was plenty of debate amongst the judges for this segment, and separating it is incredibly difficult from third to first. There's nothing the Seltos or the CX-30 don't do well, and both are competent performers in every sense of the word. The Skoda Kamiq, however, delivers a blend of comfort, quality, standard inclusions, and a premium feeling the others can't match. It's balanced and fun to drive, but it's also well equipped, comfortable, and insulated inside the cabin. As Skoda has been doing for some time now, the interior is well thought out and beautifully executed, and Kamiq is incredibly practical and useful in a segment that otherwise might not be. In the real world, the Kamiq used 4.9 litres per 100 kilometres in a mix of urban and highway driving, and just 6.6 litres per 100 kilometres strictly around town. There's never been a more competitive field in this relatively new segment, but the Skoda Kamiq is the most impressive of the bunch and a worthy winner in the Drive Car of the Year awards.